Hello QuickBooks Studios, welcome to iKon Studios. Let me give you guys a tour. Welcome to my studio. This is a space that I built for myself in order to complete my own creative projects as well as a rental business. Now, if you're a production or a creative YouTuber, you can hire this space to produce your own content here. And it's been proven to be a very popular spot. This is it. It looked nothing like this when I first got it. Where do we begin? This is the entrance. If you're a client, you're greeted with this hex light feature. And then you've got my kit room and a green room. My kit room does what it says on the tin. This holds a lot of kit in here. This kit not only gets used here, but it also gets used around all sorts of productions. So where I've been doing Sidemen productions for a very long time, all of the cameras, tripods and kit belongs to myself and it gets used on those shoots. You know, when I was much younger and I was starting to get into this career, I didn't have anything like this. All I had was my bedroom and it was probably smaller than this kit room. It could just about fit a bed and a little desk. I didn't really have much kit. I just had one camera that could just go in a drawer. So to go from something like that to this, at my age, probably seemed quite impossible and ridiculous. And now this is just the reality we're living in. Some challenges I had when I was setting up this space is my ambition versus my bank account. Now my ambition for the space was very grand, but obviously finding the funds to make that into reality were very slim, so I had to work with what I've got, and that meant being resourceful for certain things. If I could salvage a window that I could find in the skip, I would be doing that. You might have seen me use like little action cameras on set, and you think like, oh yeah, little action camera. They're very popular in Sidemen videos like hide and seek and road trips, but what people don't really see is the amount of storage I need. This is just one example of those storage facilities. I've got like trays of little accessories like this that are very unique to certain situations. What I'm trying to say is, wherever you want to fit a camera, I can make it happen. So that's the kit room. It is super secure and alarmed up, and there's booby traps in there, so don't try any funny business. Now onto the main space. Ta-da! Okay, so what we have here is a big open space. Measurements wise, we're talking 6 by 12 meters of pure open space. And then it's got a large pitched roof. What I've managed to do is build an infinity cove in this space. And then the next half of the room is more of a darker, moodier look. So we've got a nice contrast here between the two sections of the studio. We've got our white and black split. On our infinity cove right now, we have a set which actually is a movable set. These are just flats. I call them flats. They're basically like a stud wall with a bit of wood on it, and then we decorated it to make it look like a bedroom. And they are movable, as you can see. They are movable by one person, but if you've got, you know, 2 people to help you, that is ideal. This is how they look like at the back. Just bits of wood with buckets of concrete weighing it down. If I were to take these buckets off, this whole set will tip over. So we're not gonna take them off. The beauty of these is that they're on wheels and you can just move them about anywhere in the studio. You can even connect them to other walls to create different types of backdrops. All of a sudden, you can completely de-rig a set. Oh, that's a really heavy chair, by the way. I made that look quite easy, didn't I? Yeah, don't answer that. More flats. This is like a half of a flat, and this one's actually got space for a window. So in case you wanted to imitate, I don't know, like a sunset in a bedroom, you can put like a pair of blinds on here and shine a bright light through there. And it looks like you've got an outside there. A bit like a casino. I don't have any daylight in here. So I could actually be working here for hours without realizing the time of day. Sometimes that's a good thing. Sometimes it's a bad thing, because next thing you know, I've been here for 15 hours and you know, got a family to look after at home as well. So I'm not gonna de-rig the whole thing, but you get the picture. So this is an infinity cove. The reason they call it an infinity cove is because it's got like this slope here. So when you put all your lights in, it actually eliminates all the shadows. Obviously you're on the QuickBooks channel, so if you've seen a lot of their videos that are shot on a white cove, it's very similar setting. Obviously, some of those videos, very big scale, require bigger coves. And then the way I light it was I installed these metal trusses, which allow me to hang lights and other fixtures off of them so I can light the cove. Speaking of lighting, I've actually got a really cool addition. I think it's quite techie, but it's very simple. Don't tell anyone. I've got this thing on here. It's essentially an iPad that's embedded in a 3D printed bracket. So it's permanently fixed to the wall and you can control the lighting from there. If you have a look at the cove, I can switch the lighting on and off, all from the iPad, which I think is pretty cool, especially if you're a client that's not too techie with the lights. All you want to come in and do, just press one button and then everything's done for you. So that's how simple I'm trying to make the process here for people. One of my first ever clients were actually good mates of mine. It was Ethan and Faith. They requested to do a photo shoot. Now she was heavily pregnant and she wanted to do a paternity shoot. So yeah, my wife Kirsty came through, she's done the photos, and at the time they were here, a lot of nice things weren't here. So they mainly used that section of the studio, and the floors, they weren't even sorted. They were just like very bare and concrete. So it was a bit horrible, and I didn't have a loo either. So yeah, but it's much nicer now. Max Fosh came through to use it for one of his treasure hunt videos. He used one of the red backdrops. He was giving away like this really cool goldfish. So he filmed a part of his video here as well. But I've had loads of interesting clients, from musicians, YouTubers. I had a newspaper come through and they were doing a photo shoot with loads of different animals. That was fun. We had like parrots and tortoises here. I even did a shoot with a goat once, and that was a nightmare. Pooped all over the studio. Now, when it comes to scaling the studio and my clientele list, I think one of the challenges is marketing. Also, where this is a location-based business, it's very hard to get certain clients in based on their location. So sometimes it just doesn't work out. Sometimes some productions want a studio that's closer to their sort of area where they're from. Where we're not in bang central London, we're just on the outskirts of Greater London. Sometimes that can be tough. And the way I see around that is to literally open up a franchise of studios all around London, which is a dream of mine. So if you can help me scale up like that, that would be fantastic. Thank you. In the future, I would love to own a commercial type of property. For now, unfortunately, we're leasing. So one of my other problems is, okay, how much do I actually put into this space that I can't get back if something was to happen and my situation with, you know, leasing this place changed? So that's always in the back of my mind, but I didn't let that try and stop me from creating something great that I'm also really pleased with. So finding the balance between those two has been quite tricky. There have been new additions to the studio. For example, I've managed to, you know, get access to a drain pipe that's allowed me access to wastage. So now I've got plumbing, and that's opened up a whole new world. I've built a little kitchenette area here, and this is just a great space for people to, you know, be at comfort with the studio and, you know, help themselves to a drink. There's running water, they can make a cup of tea, snacks, cups, cutlery, all of that stuff. I'll show you my previous situation of a kitchenette area. So believe me, the reason I sound so excited is because it was so bad before. But yeah, I even got like a little halogen fryer, so you can bring some, I don't know, frozen nuggets or something and make yourself some nuggets. And the best feature that I'm super excited about that we've managed to add recently, and I think it will help my business because, okay, it's the toilet, it's the pooper, all right, there it is. It's not that huge, but it's enough to do number 1, 2s and whatever else you got going on. If it's a really bad situation here, if you've left it in a really bad state, you just change the lights in here, and that just means you should avoid it for the next 10 minutes. So there we go. I just couldn't resist putting like an RGB light in there. Got a massive mirror here as you walk out. You know, if you're going on set, you can check yourself out, make sure you're all nice and proper. I thought this would be a great feature to add. Not only does it make the studio look a bit bigger, but I thought if I ever have clothing, fashion shoots, this will be a perfect place where the models can come in and check out their outfit. Well, that is the kitchenette, the infinity cove, and the bathroom. And then we have the second half of the studio over on this side. When I designed that space initially, it was meant to contrast whatever I've got going on here. Often in video production, when you're working with brands or clients, they'd require a nice clean look, but often they'd also require something complete opposite, something dark and moody, something with a lot of textures in it. So I thought that space would be incredible for that. Right now, you're seeing the BTS of another shoot we did for QuickBooks. Check it out here, or it's probably not done yet. In that case, you should hit the subscribe button with the notification bell, and then you'll get notified once that video is out. There you go. Again, I've got another truss here to be able to hang lights. Interesting fact, you know when I spoke about getting things on the cheap? So a lot of productions or warehouses, whenever they close down, they often want to get rid of these things, these trusses. And to buy them fresh, brand new, is quite expensive. But if you're picking them up used, because people just want to get rid of them because they're taking up so much space, you can pick them up for a very good price. So that's what I've been doing as we build out the studio. And it's nowhere near to the sort of perfect status that I want it to be. I'm still tweaking bits here and there, which is very exciting for me because I get the build bug sometimes. You know, I'll build a space out and I'm like, now what? What's my next project? By not having a complete, you know, wish list here, I always have something I want to try and improve. This back wall didn't really exist before. It was just a plain brick wall. And I thought, hey, let's make a cool backdrop. What can we do? I'm kind of getting into carpentry and fiddling around with tools and whatnot. So I thought it would be really good to have a workshop for myself and then to be able to film my projects that I create over here. So this big storage unit is more like to hold some of my tools and to act as a cool background for videos, really. All of these lights, they're all smart lights, so they're all controllable. Hey Siri, turn off the workshop. It didn't show me up. Hey Siri, turn on the workshop. And then look at the way the lights animate. That's so cool. I love it. I love my tech. I love lighting. Great stuff. This space was not only designed to be a cool backdrop, but I kind of wanted my own workshop area because I'm trying to get a bit into carpentry and building my own stuff. And yeah, so this is a place for that. So when I spoke about having different textures in the studio, this space is a great example of it because not only do we have like a wood slat wall here, we've got a concrete brick texture on that wall as well, and I think it's great. It's so versatile and it gives you different results. No matter where you point your camera, you don't have to walk far, you just turn around, you've got a whole new look. And I think that for me as a creative, that serves a lot of purposes. Don't know about everyone else, but for me, it's very handy. I think whatever I build that's gonna be enjoyable to myself, other people would also take a liking to. Some of the challenges when creating this space, I was totally oblivious to the fact that, you know, cold and hot happens, and a space like this needs heating, needs cooling, and had to fork out a lot for like a AC system. Other things like plumbing. I mean, we have communal toilets there, and I thought, yeah, cool, we've got bathrooms and toilets. Over the years where I've been on this warehouse establishment, those toilets quickly degraded because it's like sort of a tradies toilet, so they don't get well looked after. And then I found myself not getting repeat clients after that because the facilities might have not been top tier, you know? It's something that would put me off as if I was booking the studio. So I think a big important thing about being a business owner is pinpoint your own weaknesses and try and see how you can go around them to fix them. So in my case, I finally managed to get my own bathroom. I got my AC installed. There's other like costs when you run a business or when you hire a space. You get charged business tax for having a space that's a certain size. But if you're under a certain size, then you get business relief. So it's about knowing those type of quirks as well, so you don't get trapped in high reoccurring monthly charges. Another big one, wastage. I produce quite a fair bit of rubbish from this studio. No, that sounds like I do crap work here. How do you even say it? Like bins. No one told me about bins in this place. Apparently, so I'm having to, you know, pay for a separate company that gives me a massive wheelie bin, and I have a limit. If I go over that limit by weight, they charge me more. So, you know, I didn't know I had to be responsible for wastage when I got here, but it's something I had to get sorted. Another big thing I'm trying to focus on is repeat customers. So instead of constantly getting new people in, I would much rather have, you know, a consistent clientele that come through and enjoy the space. I also like when people give me feedback on how they've enjoyed using it. And I really like to focus on the small details. If there's anything I can do to make a client feel special, I feel like it could potentially, you know, make them return or just make them feel good. Another cool little gadget I've got is an electronic backdrop holder. This is just rolls of paper. They come in all sorts of colors and they're great as a background. So again, there's another little feature of the studio where you can really get bang for your buck. You've got an infinity cove, you've got the dark out area, and then you've got multiple colored coloramas. Let me show you guys the green room. Now, we started off the video there, but I didn't really show you around. So this is the green room. This is sort of an area that you can, you know, you can close yourself off from the world. All the shoots are happening out there and you can have like a private meeting in here or get ready here, makeup. There's a little workbench here. You could charge your phone. I've got a wireless charger. Boom, great, works. Another aircon unit in here. Typically, this is like where the producers hang out. When they know they've done a good job at organizing everything, the shoot happens there and all the producers hang out here. And then we've got a makeup desk. It can sit up to 4 people. Now, this little space over here used to be the kitchenette. This is where the clients would come to make a tea or coffee, grab a drink from the fridge. And I feel like I've come a long way in the business now because we've ditched that and we've built a much bigger kitchenette now, as you've seen. So I feel really proud in being able to upgrade my business and reinvest more into it to make it better. I feel like it's these small evolutions in the studio that are gonna make it, you know, something really grand. And once I feel like I can't make any further changes, then it's probably time where I feel like, okay, well, I've outgrown the space. Perhaps it's time to venture out to new businesses or new areas and see how I can start something new. In terms of like how chaotic it can get in here, where I use it for my own personal content creation needs, it really depends on the project. If I've got a tight deadline and I've got loads to film, perhaps, yeah, there could be a big mess here and I'm rushing around and there's loads of people here as well. And we're all trying to sync up and create something special. Then there's other productions that come and film in here as well. I don't really get to see sometimes what they're doing because it's their production and they're just using the space and I'm sort of just like overwatching it, making sure they're all comfortable in here. But from what I've seen, some shoots could be chill, some could be really chaotic. It's just a mix of, depends on what you're doing. All right, a little sit down break done. Let me take you guys upstairs. Just imagine this. This did not exist. Welcome, and forgive me if you can hear a slight buzzing or a humming sound. Let's just, you know, address the elephant in the room. So this is my 3D printer and it's currently been set off on a 2-day print. It's currently printing a little model of my Ford Transit Custom. I purchased a van that I'm gonna be converting into a camper van, and I wanted to print like a 3D model to show on camera and just for myself about all the modifications I'm gonna do to it. Because sometimes having something physical instead of like digitally on a screen is a lot more rewarding to work with and easier to show to other people. Then we've got a sofa. You can just chill out, do some more work on here, nothing too fancy. I've got 2 desks here. One of them is my friend, Flatface Animations, Ben, who works from here. He is a digital VFX artist, and it's very handy to have him here because I have a lot of things where I require special VFX. So whenever I need an expert to talk to, I annoy him. And then over on this side, we've got my desk. Now, have you heard of the phrase, a plumber's got leaky taps? Yeah, that's me. I do other people's setups and I make them look all grand and beautiful, but for me, everything's always scrambled up because I'm either pinching parts from here to give to other people for their builds, or I'm just not around enough to really utilize it. I've recently purchased a printer, but like an inkjet printer, because I want to be able to use it for sublimation, which is like printing stuff onto shirts. This is a cutting machine. So this is the Cricut Maker 4. And with this, I'm able to cut things like vinyl, card, wood, and make my own patterns. A great example of what this can produce. See this sign? It's just a bit of vinyl that was cut by that machine. I ended up transferring it onto this wall. So I'm able to make custom cool designs for myself now as well. As you can see, I'm an individual that really dabbles in a lot of creative tasks, whether that's 3D printing, creating things physically, or just editing on my computer. It's a gift and a curse, I guess, because I keep myself really busy and I feel like time just slips away and goes by so fast. So when I look at I think it's like over 15 years I've been doing creative things, I feel like I've come really far, and it's only when I step back to look at things like showing you guys around my mega studio that I feel very proud of my achievements. Get ready for this. This is exclusive access, a sneak peek into what gets brushed under the carpet here in the studio. There you go, that's all you're getting. Basically, this is a storage space and the other side of this is a storage space. And for you guys to see this beautiful tour, I've had to cram a lot of clutter into there and I've kind of swept it under the rug. All right, and that's the tour done. Thank you to QuickBooks Studios UK for checking out the space, and I'll see you guys later.